Well. How I've been switch on my mic is yet. Hey, good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the world. Welcome to another edition of a Good Morning Grenada. It's a G squared, myself GT, yes, and Gary. Of course, Gary is at his neck of the woods, and of course, that's the remote studios. That's where he's located. Introduce him shortly. Let him pop in and say his bit. So, good morning once again to Facebook. Those of you viewing via Facebook and YouTube viewers, good morning. Hope all is well. Those of you viewing via GBN TV, good morning to you also. Certainly hope you're having a great morning. Those of you listen via K105, good morning. And of course, Hot 98. Let me go over to Gary and say, morning, Gary. How you doing, my brother? How you doing? Hope all is well with you this morning. And certainly hope you're doing good. Hey, Gary, you with me this morning? I'm seeing Gary trying to figure out if I'm there. Hey, Gary, good morning. How you doing? Not getting that audio feed from you yet for some reason. I think your system is muted. Fix that. And so, folks, we move on here on, of course.
I'm here.
All right, you're here. You with me. How you doing, morning, my brother? How you doing this morning?
Brother, man, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
All right. I'm feeling A-okay myself. Feeling a bit upbeat this morning. We have lots in store for the viewers and listeners this morning. So they encourage the folks to, of course, stay tuned in because we got lots to offer this morning. So we're going to kick right into the meat of the matter this morning. Let's get set to, of course, throw out the word of the day. We have that available for you this morning. We also have coming up the thought of the day. Stick around for that. And Gary, let's get a go with the word of the day for today. If you already have that available, let's get that going this morning. It's Good Morning Grenada. It's G squared. Don't forget the numbers if you want to, of course, get in contact with us. It's 435-2041. That's 435-2041. Hey, Gary, you ready to go with the word of the day for today? Let's go.
Certainly I am. The word of the day, if you guys are ready for me, is intemperate. Intemperate. Hey, it's an adjective. And it means having extreme conditions or showing a lack of emotional calmness or control. Now here's an example of the word intemperate. The plant is able to survive in intemperate climates. The journalist apologized for her intemperate rant against the mayor. It is probably useful if you are considering using this sentence today. Here is of course, well, not sentence, but word. Here it is used once again in context. It is probably useful for us to let our ideas flow with intemperate fervor on topics about which we are, which we care passionately. All right? Your word of the day.
All
Back
right.
to you, GT.
Yes, that's the word of the day here, Gary. Intemperate. Yes, and love how you put it in context there. Certainly hope the viewers and listeners could put it, of course, in their everyday use of words today. Let's get into the thought of the day for today and see if this thought of the day will, of course, roll in with whatever plans you have. Let's talk about challenges. That's we talking the thought of the day. Challenges. Challenges make you more responsible. Always remember that life without struggle is a life without success. Don't give up. Learn not to quit. Good morning, Grenada, here on GBN TV, K105, Hot 98, and our various platforms, whether it's the YouTube or Facebook. Once again, challenges make you more responsible. Always remember that life without struggle is like life without success. Don't give up and learn not to quit. That's the thought of the day for today here on Good Morning Grenada. We also getting set for your health tip this morning. Let's see what the health tip is all about. And of course, I like to leave that up to Gary. He likes to take care of the health tip for today. And let's see what the health tip is all about, Gary. You got the flow of it.
I just thought I create a image for the health tip for today. I'm not too sure if Master Control has got that up as yet. There isn't much to say as far as the health tip is concerned this morning. Just want you to take a quick look at the foods that can make you happy versus the foods that can make you depressed. I don't have to itemize them for you. I just want you to take a look. For those of you viewing us on GBN TV, Facebook and YouTube Live. So once that slide is up, you know, you guys can get an idea as to some of the foods that can benefit you in many ways, you know, more than you think.
Hey, Gary, you're talking about the foods that can make you happy, and I'm seeing a grapefruit. But some folks may differ in that, because, you know, depending on the grapefruit you may pick up, it could be one that is not too sweet, so and it's sour, so it can give you...
Grapefruit is not meant to be sweet, y'all.
No, I just have to laugh at it because you say that there's a food that can make you happy. Yeah. You know, so I look at discrepancy can come in there. For some reason...
It can make you happy, not necessarily from tasting it, but what it does after you have taken it in.
I understand.
After you've consumed it, you know, the body breaks down those foods and use what it has, what those foods have. I mean, all the minerals, all the vitamins, and of course the body convert all these things to make sure that, you know, fills the gap in what your body might be missing or add upon what is already there. So they are definitely feel-good foods.
All right. Now let's get into Did You Know for this morning, folks, and for the benefit of the viewers, listeners out there. We always show this tidbits that could educate you in some way or the other. Did you know for today? Listen to this. When you finish with an essay, you can copy and paste it into Google Translate and listen to it. Is the easiest way to find mistakes. If you never thought about it before, you're probably someone who writes a lot, and sometimes you don't want to go through the life has become a whole lot easier with with technology. So you probably don't want to go through and spell check. You don't want to pull out that dictionary as some folks will do back then, Gary. You understand?
Yeah, well, if you do SBAs, if you're in school, primary, secondary, whatever, that might be. Let's use Google to our advantage,
Yeah. Before you had to pull out that dictionary and go through the word.
We didn't have that luxury.
We didn't have that luxury. We didn't have that luxury. So if you didn't know, now you know. All you can simply do when you finish an essay or finish writing an essay, just copy and paste it into Google Translate and listen to it. That is the easiest way to find the mistakes you've made, maybe grammatical errors and so forth. That could be fixed there for you, spell checks, etc., 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 and that could help you a whole lot. So those of you who probably you're not too savvy with the computer.
There are a lot of folks. I don't think your teacher is going to be opposed to you doing that.
I guess not. I don't
think so.
I guess not. Hey, we're moving on, folks. Gary, are we going to get into of course, a little riddle for today?
Riddle me this, riddle me that. You guys ready? Time for you to put on your thinking cap. Here's a nice little brain crusher for you here this morning, all right? As we get ready to take our break for the news, we'll get the answer when we return. So if you think you got the correct answer, feel free to send us a WhatsApp. What's the WhatsApp number on your end?
It's 435-2041. That's 435-2041. And you can certainly send us the answer if you think you know the answer to the riddle. I will go ahead and throw that riddle out this morning, Gary.
Go ahead.
A doctor and a lawyer are both in love with the same woman. Her name is Ashley. The lawyer had to go on a business trip, and that would last a week. That trip in per se would last a week. Before he left, he gave Ashley 7 apples. Why? That riddle once again, I hope you can decipher it a wee bit. A doctor and a lawyer are both in love with the same woman named Ashley. The lawyer had to go on a business trip that would last a week. Before he left, he gave Ashley 7 apples. Why did he give Ashley 7 apples? Gary, I think I just looked at it and I deciphered it. I didn't even pay attention to it, and I think I got the answer already. Yeah, I think
you got the answer without looking at the answer segment at the bottom of the sheet.
Before I didn't look at the answer segment at the bottom of the sheet, of course, the info before me, but I think I picked it up, and I think folks could pick that up really, really easy this morning if you read and analyze it easily. Anyway, we move it up. Wow. It's 6:44.
Later on this morning when we return, we have an interview. We have a chit chat with world-renowned. Did you hear me? World-renowned Dr. Sebi is going to be in with us this morning, y'all.
Yes.
So make sure that's Miss Dr. Sebi. She is the wife of the late, great Dr. Sebi, who passed away in what year did he pass away? 2016. He passed away. So y'all make sure you stick around for that. That is at about 7:05 this morning, okay?
All right, so stick around for that. Hey, folks, it's 15 minutes moving up before 7 o'clock. Up next, the AM edition of news here on K105. Stick around for that. See if we can, of course, those of you via GBN TV, rebroadcast of last evening's newscast will be played on GBN TV, and the AM edition of news here on K105 and Hot 98 is next.
It was a devastating weekend for the community of Cook Hill, St. Andrew, as an attack on residents in the area left a mother and son hospitalized. Rena Pierre Thomas visited the community and spoke to residents who are not happy with the vicious attack on a Chinese businesswoman and her son.
Community members of Cook Hill, St. Andrew are sad and heartbroken as a family in their community was violently assaulted during an attempted robbery last Friday. The mother and son, who are Chinese nationals, operate a popular restaurant in the heart of Grenville, St. Andrew, and has been living in the parish for more than 7 years. Police confirmed that at around 11 p.m. the individuals were attacked in the vicinity of the Old Church, Sandal Street, Grenville, just a few houses away from their home. Both mother and son received chop wounds and are currently warded at the General Hospital in stable condition. GBN spoke to community members in the area who said they are disheartened and unsettled about the incident, as many described the victims as friendly.
Since we live up here, we born and grew up in Cook Hill. Cook Hill is not like that. So, I don't know, I was not around, but I hear that. And I know Cook Hill is not like that. Everybody know them, and then we know them is like peaceful people. They doesn't interfere with anybody. They walk the road peaceful, go and come back, and I'm really sorry for them, what I hear.
Because these people, they've been here for a long time. They're very polite, very humble, and they don't interfere with anybody. And for somebody to just, in this area here, we don't really have that going on too. And we scared too.
Rather concerned to know that something like that happened actually here. It's the first time thing like that happened. We've had incident in the past, but way back when, not anything like that. And considering it's so close to me, I'm concerned. I know them on a very personal level, but just passing and saying hi and so on. They seem pleasant to me, peaceful.
I feed my dogs away every day, and every morning I see people they mind business, me too. They don't interfere with nobody, and they're serving food to people who won't want to cook. A person see what it is, you know, because that's real, I don't know, it's terrible.
One eyewitness who was fearful of being entered on camera stated that after hearing the excessive barking of her dogs and strange noise, she opened her front door to see what was happening and was in shock to see the attack on her neighbors. Though she was unable to identify anyone as it was dark, she said the attacker ran off after realizing she was at the door. Assistant Superintendent attached to the Community Relations Department, Desmond Richard, says no official arrest has been made.
Presently, we have an intense investigation going on. There has not been any arrests at this time. We are questioning some persons, but not in terms of we have not detained or arrested anybody in connection with that particular incident over the weekend.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pierre Thomas reporting.
Meanwhile, head of the Police Community Relations Department, Assistant Superintendent of Police Desmond Richards, says the attack on the mother and son is not a good reflection on the Grenadian people.
This is leaving no stone unturned even after the culprit who has committed such a criminal attack on these persons.
ASP Richards says they are seeking the public's assistance in capturing the culprit from Friday night's attack.
Never a pleasant thing, Chris, when you have foreigners being attacked. It is bad on our own people. And when you have foreigners that attack, I want us to know as a people and as a country that can have far-reaching consequences, and that it can affect our diplomatic and foreign relations as well. And the persons and the countries who are wanting to help us in our endeavor to improve our nation, our state, and the life of our people, that can also be affected. So it is on that backdrop as well. We are seeking the assistance of the public as well in resolving that matter, and as quickly as possible.
According to the police, the perpetrator was wearing dark clothing with a face covering. Quick responses by police and residents close by Save the Hotspot establishment in St. David from a fire on Sunday. Their efforts were recognized by the business owner, who promises to show his appreciation in a special way. Chrislina John has the details in this report.
Businessman Andy Williams is now counting his blessings while expressing gratitude to the people of St. David. Williams told GBN that someone set fire to a garbage bin close to his business place. No one was arrested for the act. However, Williams says camera footage is likely to reveal who committed such act. The businessman spoke with GBN's news desk on Monday.
Well, actually, I was heading home after closing the carnage, and I got a phone call from someone that that there's fire there. So I immediately turned around and head straight to St. David's, and that's when I went up and saw exactly what went on. We had a garbage bin on the other side. It seems as if someone would have lit bin and caused a whole fire there, So a neighbor actually going out, and he saw the blaze and the fire like that, in flames. And he turned around one time on it,
He says not much of the building was affected, although it could have been worse if caring citizens did not intervene. He says he has no fear, bearing in mind that God is in control. The most important thing, he says, having life itself.
No, we had no major loss, and I must thank you to the people of St. David's. And Gavin, once again, I must say thank you to Gavin, because Gavin, he acted immediately, right? From what I heard, out. And when he saw the fire, he just turned around one time, he grabbed his hose, and went to the pipe, put on the hose, climbed up on the building, and started to wet the fire. And he had, his uncle, and everyone there came out and did their best to hold the fire. And I must say thanks to the RGPF, because from what I heard, they responded very quickly. They said that the Grenville branch and the St. George's branch, both fire trucks were there at the same time. But luckily, when they came, the people out the fire.
Williams promises to reward the Good Samaritans for their act of goodwill.
And thank you for everyone who has been there for us, who is in our favor. It looked like if someone would have, lit the fire, if that person did it, we forgive them. It's not a matter of having things in our heart, But when you look at the positive, I want to say thank you to everyone who has been there for us thus far through the years. And thank you once again to the people of St. David and Gavin, Miss Merlin, and everyone else who was involved out in the fire for us. Thank you. And for that, we are going to give a special seal for that this week.
In 2017, a fire at Hotspot Grandance branch destroyed about 90% of the supermarket and cents. It was thereafter that Hotspot moved to the Carnage, where its St. George's branch remains.
It's being dubbed by some anglers as the best fishing tournament in the region, and within the next 48 hours, the Republic Bank Spice Island Billfish Tournament will commence in earnest. The stage has been set and is now waiting for the cannon to fire off. Proceedings on Wednesday morning. Jared Joseph has the details.
Best tournament in the Caribbean. Best tournament, bar none, in the Caribbean. We fished from Martinique, St. Lucia, Trinidad, both tournaments. Grenada, we always look forward to coming to this tournament.
Ready, set, go. Members of Cool Runnings from Trinidad and Tobago are keen on the of the Republic Bank Spice Island Billfish Tournament. The anglers say the camaraderie, the facilities, the hospitality and opportunities to sightsee are what make the tournament distinct.
Bar none, the best organized. I'm not saying that the others aren't organized, but we always feel a special place in our hearts to come to Grenada to fish. A lot of fish, which is good, which is what we're here to do, you know. But apart from that, we
really a lovely island to come to, especially it's very close to, and we enjoy the fishing here, even though we have been to a lot of other tournaments, as Colin has said. But Grenada is definitely one of the best tournaments that we love to come to and enjoy.
Nicholas George, chairman of the organizing committee, says the participating boats have already begun arriving, noting that the absence of the tournament in 2021 has built up demand for fun on the water.
Believe it or not, despite the present COVID situation, we've had a record number of pre-registered boats. We have in the region of 40 boats already registered, even though registration day is tomorrow. And I think we're on chart to have the most Grenadian boats actually taking part for 2022.
George's registration begins on Tuesday, with fishing commencing from Wednesday, resting on Friday, and the tournament concluding on Sunday.
I'd like to encourage all Grenadians to try and come out a little bit early on Wednesday morning. Get the kids dressed early for school, you dress early for work, come down to the Carnage. The Bimini start for the SIBT tournament is always an event that people love to see.
Camille Good, the officer in charge of marketing and communication at Republic Bank, tells GBN that they are elated to participate in the 52nd edition of the Spice Island Billfish Tournament.
Over the years, Republic Bank has been an avid supporter of the Grenada Spice Island Bill Tournament, and this year is no exception. We are pleased to once again be the title sponsor of the event, and we see it as a very important part of the calendar for Grenada, especially as we talk about the blue economy. So in terms of supporting the anglers, supporting the local economy here, we are very pleased to be participating in this event.
The premier fishing event is classified by most visiting anglers as the best organized in the Southern Caribbean. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
After just more than 2 weeks of closure, some motorists can now traverse through the River Road, Main Road, George, as of Monday morning. Limited traffic is now allowed to flow through River Road. Rena Pierre Thomas visited the site this morning and brings us this update.
Emergency vehicles, minibuses, and lightweight trucks are the only vehicles permitted to access Main Road, which is open to the public as of Monday, January 24th. The public road was closed to vehicular traffic with immediate effect from Wednesday, 5th January 2021, due to an unfolding situation of the undermining of the roadway with progressive collapse and the development of along the road surface, which poses a serious risk to the general public. Safety officer of the St. John River Mitigation Project, Reginald John, says lots of work was done to ensure that the road was somewhat ready for a limited amount of traffic through the area.
A lot was done because we had to work longer hours, work on Sundays, whatever it is. So we did our best to at least bring it to a point where we can have light vehicles and buses going through River Road, but at the same time going through the back road, which doesn't affect the progress of the work that we had. We did a lot of battling. We put up hard barriers for safety, so at least people have a guideline as to where they're supposed to walk, where they're supposed to be, and where they're supposed to not to be. All right, but like I said, a lot was done, but a lot of effort was placed on the road, that we the walls where the road was broken. So we fast forwarded that and took back from some of the projects that we had to do, make sure that was all right.
All other travelers advised to use alternative routes to get to their various destinations. John said his team saw it necessary to ease the traffic alternative routes such as Mount Rush, which is prone to accidents.
Because, like I said, we were very much aware of the inconvenience, the dangers, and everything that will cause. Because you too will be aware of some accidents that we had at Mount Rush, so we're trying to minimize on that and how best we could do to probably bring the road back to normal running probably in the next 10 days. Right? I don't want to commit and say less than that, but at least within the next 10 days, we should be having things up and running. Like I said, we work in longer hours, we work in longer days. We have the cooperation of the staff because they too understand basically what needs to be done.
He said so far he received great assistance from the GPF and cooperation from drivers during the morning rush hour.
We had the police presence up to 8 o'clock, and the police presence usually would make a difference. All right, but I must say that we had 95% cooperation from the people using the roads. All right, I think they understand basically, how we have to go about it if they need to use the road. So I must say the people that we had after the police went were people like myself and others who have experience in basically handling traffic and, getting things organized. So we have it under control.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pence reporting.
One student has won both categories in recent Grenada Green Group anti-litter campaign. Republic Bank was one of the major supporters of the initiative, which sought to highlight the problem of littering in Grenada. Jared Joseph has that story.
11-year-old Shikwana Samuel of Uganda Martyrs Primary School captured the coveted prizes in the Grenada Green Group anti-litter campaign, which was launched in late 2021. The issue of littering in Grenada was the focus of the campaign among schools, and the promotion was designed in two categories: an art or poster competition and a song competition using a Christmas jingle were opened to 7 schools, 5 primary and 2 secondary schools. She cornered the winner in both categories with her art depiction of coughing earth, the planet choking on litter, and her Christmas anti-litter song to the tune of Jingle Bells, Jingle All the Way. Her prize was a gift certificate for a Right Start account sponsored by Republic Bank valued at $500, representing $250 for each category. Republic Bank brand ambassador 2019 IAAF world champion in the javelin, Anderson Peters, presented Shikwana with her prize in a brief ceremony held at the school last Thursday. Commenting on the drive, Secretary of the Grenada Green Group, Mr. Ian Blakey, said, and I quote, "It is impressive that schools managed to produce material at all at a time when their routines were being repeatedly disrupted by the COVID-19 restrictions." Republic Bank joined in congratulating the 11-year-old champion, noting that supporting initiatives like this is in keeping with its mandate to adopt the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Mr. Nikolai Boyk, representing Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, presented a 25-year commemorative T-shirt to Shikwana. Mr. Boyk said that the message about the damage done by littering must be spread by as many channels as possible. It's an anti-litter campaign. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Welcome back. National Youth Parliament was off to a great start with the sitting of both the upper and the lower houses of Parliament last Thursday. This followed weeks of intense training, as we hear in this June Paul report.
The 2022 series commenced with the sitting of the lower house by a 9-member team who debated on the child's need for protection as cited in the Protection and Adoption Act 2010, an act to provide for the care and protection of children in Grenada and to provide for matters incidentals, therefore to purposes connected therewith, commonly cited the Child Protection and Adoption Bill, to which several amendments were made. The second part of the Parish Youth Parliament brought together a team of 12 aspiring future parliamentarians who pitched on a high-level discussion on the Possessory Title Bill. The Possessory Title Bill was passed with several amendments made in the best interest of all Grenadians. Participants spoke of the involvement in the parliamentary processes.
When I say possessory title, it deals with ownership to land, whereas someone occupying the land for over a period of time, that person can claim to be the owner of the land, just being on the land, right? Some persons are affected by this on a daily basis.
I didn't really have much knowledge about it, but after being able to understand what the bill is trying to actually state, I was able to put it into my own words and understand it my way in order to write my speech to come here to stand and represent Carriacou and Putimani today.
I am better at expressing myself thanks to Youth Parliament, as well as I'm able to probably do public speaking or to be a greater public speaker. I have also been able to understand some of the workings, ins and outs, you can say, with Parliament and its proceedings, the different procedures.
I must say that everyone did deliver very well, right? And in regards to the bill, this is one of the most important bills in Grenada, right? And I must say that I have one of my passions is protecting children. That is one of my passions. I love children, right? So to see that there is actually a bill which speaks to protecting children and everything, I really loved this bill.
Facilitator Clifton Ned highlighted the challenges encountered by the participants.
The public may not be aware of this, but much of what happens in the parliament sitting surprises us when it happens, because even we as the ones organizing don't always know how people will vote or what decisions they will make. Today's development example where a part of a bill was completely removed is not something that we expected or had any prior knowledge would happen. But I think two things are important here. One, that they had the autonomy to do with the bill as they felt they wanted to, but also that they had an understanding of what the rules are, so that they did with the bill within the framework of the proper procedure of Parliament.
The final sessions for the parliamentary cycle will be held in March. Following this, the process of recruiting a new batch of youth parliamentarians will commence. Reporting for the Division of Youth Development, I am June Paul.
From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through GB's ISO lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN ISO is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055. WhatsApp 409-0055 or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with Clear Vision.
What God has blessed, no one can curse. And that's the attitude of tonight's ISO submission. Our ISO reporter said, this is a bunch of ripe fig. The tree was cut off and it still bore fruit. Adding that one fig can be so big, we cut it in half. But look at this. Not only did this bunch of fig grow from a cut stalk, but double, 2 bunches in one. Could this be God's way of showing us that all is not lost amidst this COVID-19 pandemic? If this tree can overcome its own challenges and produce more than one bunch, what's stopping you from rising above your own challenges? We thank our eyes.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be back with you, those of you via GBN TV. Good morning, those of you on the various platforms, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. Good morning to you. And welcome back to another edition of course, a continuation, per se, of Good Morning Grenada. G Squared. Myself and the co-host Gary. Yes, Gary is at his location. We did promise you this morning we're going to have a special guest in to have a bit of chat this morning on, and let's go over to Gary as he make his introduction this morning. Gary, good once again. Welcome back. We back on G Squared here on a Good Morning Grenada. Gary, I think you're muted there a wee bit, so I'll probably get to unmute you a little bit, and let's get us going. All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Here I am.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So,
okay.
we back.
Right.
We back as promised.
Clearly now.
We good to go. We back as promised. Of course, usually we will delay a little bit, come back around 7:15, but you know when you have a special guest.
It's a special day today.
Special day today. So we had to chip back in a little bit earlier than usual. And Grenada, we did promise you we were supposed to have it last week due to unforeseen circumstances. Of course, the interview had to be canceled. But we have Mrs. Sebi, Miss Dr. Sebi. Let me get that right. Mrs. Dr. Sebi with us this morning. And we're going to have a chit-chat with her just a wee bit. And I will leave it up to Gary to make that formal introduction. Let her introduce herself, and he will take care of that part of it this morning. And,
definitely.
Yes. And it's a go.
Well, Grenada Carriacou and PD Marketing, the rest of the world, we'd like to take this opportunity to welcome a very distinguished guest with us here on Good Morning Grenada, and by extension, Classic 105, Hot 98, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We are on those platforms as well. If you guys are viewing us on those set platforms, feel free to share up the live so that many people can view what is about to unfold right about now. We have as our guest here this morning, world-renowned herbalist, Ms. Dr. Sebi. Let's say hello and good morning to Miss Patsy Bowman, aka Miss Dr. Sebi. How you doing? Good morning. Welcome to Grenada and welcome to GBN and of course the network.
Good morning. It is an honor to be here. Good morning to all, and I hope we'll be able to get some information here to help all of us, especially concerning our health. That's what we're here for.
Well, you look sparkling, beautiful as always. Never seem to be aging. Great to have you with us here this morning. We're going to kick the interview off by just let people know who is Miss Dr. Sebi.
Okay. Well, actually, my husband was the world-renowned Dr. Sebi, and I am his last legal wife. And basically, I make the herbs that help everyone. We won a case in the Supreme Court of New York since 1988, proving to cure AIDS, cancer, diabetes, herpes, lupus, blindness, etc. In fact, there aren't any incurable diseases.
Right. A lot of folks are familiar with you here in Grenada, and I'm sure they are very curious as to what's your connection? What's your connection? Is it more than I just love Grenada? What's your connection with Grenada before we go any further, go deeper into health?
Well, I actually live in Grenada, but I am in the U.S. right now. But I choose to live in Grenada because it's a beautiful place, beautiful people, and I just love it.
Yes, you are Trinidadian by nationality, correct?
Yes.
So it's just you're just a stone throw from us, even if you were not actually resided in Grenada. You're just a stone throw. You have very close ties to Grenada because, of course, anyone who is from Trinidad, people would say, have some form of connection with Grenada.
Sure, some family members.
There you go. Mm-hmm. You made mention that GT, feel free to pop in anytime with your questions, all right?
Sure, you go right ahead.
All right. You made mention of the fact that you are the one who produced all the herbs during the life of Mr. Dr. Sebi. All right. Expand on that a little bit.
Well, actually, my husband was basically the spokesperson. However, I was cooking in the kitchen, making the herbs that, help folks. And I would like to explain to it, some folks think, well, let me just take this herb and you can be cured. However, we have developed an intracellular chelation and biomineral balance. It actually means we begin to clean the body and simultaneously deliver the minerals that's deficient.
Wonderful. Well, in this pandemic situation we are in right about now, it is more apparent that we need to be mindful of our health by eating the right things, getting regular exercise, sleep, and all those other benefit and factors that contribute to an overall holistic, healthy individual. All right. Given the pandemic situation right about now, a lot of people are turning to herbs. A lot of people have long neglected. All right. What's your advice to people, since the conversation and the topic is a healthier you in 2022? Where do they need to start as far as ensuring that they better their health? Nobody wants to catch the coronavirus, example.
Well, the first thing you do is changing the diet from an acidus one to an alkaline one, meaning no animal products, no egg, no milk, no cheese, no butter, no meat, fish, and all the rest. By doing so, you change the body from acid to alkaline. And there are herbs right in Grenada where, or let's say in the Caribbean, that you can use that would help chelate the body, clean the system, and nourish it.
Dr. Sebi says that no disease, no virus can survive in an alkaline environment. You want to expand on this a little bit?
Yes, because by removing the acid and toxins from the body, the inflammation, the mucus, you would find that viruses, or they call it viruses, or germ or bacterium, cannot really survive in an alkaline environment. And how you change the body to alkaline? Again, you stop eating dead things. We should not use our body as a coffin. That we should not do. And continue using the herbs that are provided for us. Natural vegetation. Not all herbs are natural, so we have to also take a look at that as well.
When you say not all herbs are natural, what do you mean?
Because some herbs are hybrid, and we use it and think that it's going to help.
Wow.
Okay, for instance, a lot of folks like to use turmeric and garlic. We do not recommend those things because it's dangerous.
Right.
So we do not recommend those because it is hybrid.
Well, there are those who are listening right about now and saying, but Dr. Sebi wants me to stop eating meat and dairy and all these things. How could I possibly do this?
Just stop putting the dead in your mouth, and you can eat. There's so much other things that you can eat besides dead things. So many other things.
Right, right. Give us an example of what a plate or daily diet should consist.
Well, the first thing you do when you get up in the morning, drink a coconut water. Eat the jelly. Or, it's loaded with fruits. There's soursop. Whenever, mangoes when it's in season and so forth. So that's a good breakfast to start with. During the day, I would think a salad would be great. And, we prefer to eat a heavier meal in the evening time. You can eat green bananas, or what we call blogo, or burro bananas rather. And you can eat that with some what we call, in Grenada, they call it zeppina, but it's actually the amaranth green. You make you saute that, and you can eat it with, some, I would say, the burro banana or the blogo.
Yeah. Wow. Tell me something, Miss Dr. Sebi. People have herbs all around them. Some might pass over it, step over it, trample upon it, without even actually knowing how beneficial those herbs are. What are some of the herbs that you can pinpoint to us right about now that we might have passed on as just wild grass, just bush that needs to be, gotten rid of?
Yeah, we have, you have the blue vervain, which is called ven. Right. That is a great plant, especially for the brain and central nerve. Also, the root can be used for prostate problems as well.
Right.
You have, you call it My Hunt Picker or Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty, that's the one that coils in when you step on it, right?
Exactly. And it has on it, so be careful.
Yes.
you of course you have soursop trees there, so you have the soursop, have chancapedra, which is seed on the leaf.
Oh, that's the bush that has the seed on it.
Yes, seeds are under the
bottom
leaf
of it.
Yes.
Wow. No.
So this is just to name a few. And
go ahead.
Don't forget sea moss. Don't forget sea moss.
Why sea moss though?
It has about 92 minerals in sea moss, which nourishes every cell in the body. And best of all, it's also strengthens give you back your libido, especially males. Female too, but it nourishes every cell in the body.
Libido is important. Libido is important.
Yes, it is.
GT, you're laughing. I wonder why.
So much information has been thrown out this year.
When last you had your sea moss, GT?
I haven't had it in a wee bit. To be honest, I haven't had it in a wee bit. And, this conversation this morning is a listening moment for me. So I'm just sit back and
As you
observe.
talk, GT, I'm going to go grab my sea moss. Hold on. Keep talking.
It's also known as West Indian Viagra. So it's a good thing to use.
All right, man. It's a listening moment for me this morning, Ms. Sebi, and I'm just absorbing all the information that you're throwing out, especially with the herbs and so forth that's available out there that we as Caribbean people sometimes pay little or no attention to. You understand? We pay little and no attention to. And how important it is, you would say. I really didn't want to get into the question in part. I was just going to leave this for this interview up to Gary this morning. But I have to how important it is, to maintain
I want you to chip in, man.
Healthy diet.
Chip in, man.
How important it is for Caribbean people, especially to maintain a healthy diet. How important it is, from your personal point of view.
Your life depends on it, actually, and the herbs are for the healing of the nation. But often we don't think about that. Most people actually believe in God, but they don't really know God because those things are provided here for us. Mm-hmm. But we negate it, and we would rather to go to those places like Macbeth and Murder King instead of going outside and get some bush and stew that. Or something, or steam it.
Let me also ask you this, because people have the tendency now around the world to think using herbs is may not be the ideal thing, because some folks are saying lots of herbs are not proven, but there's also the saying from a medical point of view, herbs are part of the everyday medicine that even the big pharmaceutical companies use to make that medicine that you will go to the various pharmacies and so forth to purchase. So why do people still have that stigma, per se, about going and purchasing, not purchasing per se, but going out and really learning a whole lot more about the actual herbs that is available free of cost to us?
Yes, it is free to us. What happened with the pharmaceuticals is that they removed the active ingredient. Now, all beings need supporting agents. If you remove the active ingredient from a particular plant and only use that part, that is how come it becomes volatile. But the plant in the whole is the best way to use it. And it's all around us. Those plants are all around us that we can use.
Mr. Sebi, I've heard you said before, we have herbs around us, like you've just alluded to. So really and truly, we don't need, and this may sound as a disservice to you, but you have said it on many different platforms. We don't need to buy your expensive herbs.
Of course not. Yes. You don't need to buy it, but I suppose if you have something like stage 4 cancer, now we must remove the environment of the body that is causing the cells to proliferate abnormally. So I would recommend my expensive treatment to do that. But
I don't know if Master Control can get this here. Dr. Sebi, you see what I'm holding in my hand?
Perfect.
I've got 2 packs of it right now. Hey, GT, if you want one, I can set it off for you, okay?
Yes.
I don't mind supporting a brother from another mother.
I would love to have a pack, Gary. I would love to have a pack.
I've got them in abundance, man. Dr. Sebi, what's the best way to consume or use your sea moss? A lot of people are asking that question.
You can use sea moss anyhow. Some people like it raw, some people like it cooked, some people make it into gel and keep it in the refrigerator and use them every day. You can make tea, you can put it into soups, you can put it in smoothies. Anyhow you use it, as long as you're using it, is good.
Hey, G, I want to take the last 3 or 4 minutes, possibly 5 minutes.
Let me just ask you this, Gary, because going back to the sea moss, in a regular way, or we could say a way that we know how to have sea moss, you go and somebody makes some sea moss to you and they add the milk and all of that. How good is that, Dr. Sebi, in terms of, people, you go to the various smoothie shops and you tell them you want a sea moss drink, or somebody who sells sea moss along by the side of the road or something, always have it indulged with milk and stuff mixing. Is that a proper way to consume it, or you recommend as natural as possible?
Unless this milk is a nut milk or a plant-based milk, but you cannot put lactic acid in sea moss. I mean, of course, it will help to neutralize the acid, but we should not be consuming lactic acid, which is cow milk and goat milk and all that stuff, because it's
so they are reducing the potency of the herb when they do that.
Yes.
All right. Dr. Sebi, my final question. I have, of course, a listener here of you via WhatsApp. Send a message. He would like
I'm suggesting we take at least 3 calls, GT.
We will do that also. But this particular, of course, viewer or listener is asking you to expand a little bit more on the use of garlic and turmeric. And he seemed to not gasping. Maybe you could just repeat what you actually said about the use of garlic and turmeric.
A lot of Grenadians going to die by the use of those things, Dr. Sebi.
Because it is acidus, we would not recommend it. You can look up, Google the dangers of garlic and also turmeric. It is now, if you use saffron instead of turmeric, it would be better for you. Now, I'm not talking about the saffron, what we call saffron in the islands. Saffron, by the price alone you're paying, you will know it's real saffron, because that's not the one. That's not the ones used. That one that resembles ginger. Mm-hmm. Ginger is good.
Yeah.
But turmeric and garlic is not is 2 of the herbs we do not recommend at all.
All right. So don't expect to get any of those herbs in any of Ms. Dr. Sebi's concoction, if I can call it that.
Yes.
Gary, it's interesting. It's interesting she talk about the garlic and stuff like that, because you always hear people saying how good this thing is for you, especially people who say they have high blood pressure and stuff. And I know individuals. I know somebody who says when they eat a raw garlic, their pressure go down. Is there any truth to that, Dr. Sebi? Is there any truth to that?
I can understand. Well, of course, because when you eat garlic, it will take the pressure down. But what they didn't tell you, let's say this is your artery, it's loaded with plaque. Your pressure has to raise to circulate in the system. However, by eating garlic, it eats away the plaque and the pressure drops. However, what they did not tell you is that the garlic also begins to eat away at the epithelial lining of your arteries.
All right.
It is no good. It causes venous leaks because it's extremely acidus.
So it does good on one hand, but on the other hand, it does a lot of bad.
All right.
Yes.
All right, callers. We could take about 2 or 3 callers, Gary, because we're a little bit time strapped. The number you call is 435-2041. You've probably been listening to this conversation, and there may be a question you'd like to ask Dr. Sebi. She will love to entertain your questions this morning. The number, once again, 435-2041. I think I've just lost that caller. They just were a little bit too quick.
As we wait on the next caller, Dr. Sebi, how can folks get a hold of you? You're based in Grenada, although not currently living here, but you have made Grenada your home, and a lot of folks have been using and taking advantage of your face-to-face consultation. With you not being there, how can they avail themselves of your service?
Well, you can call my phone number. I'm also on WhatsApp. It's 213-929-3941. I am also on WhatsApp, so you can reach me there. If you're calling and I do not answer right away, does that mean I'm ignoring you? The phone seems to never stop ringing.
All right, we do have a caller, Gary. Let's take this call a little bit. Good morning.
I'm calling about the program.
Yes, go right ahead. Ask the doctor a question.
When we fall on things, she always to give us saffron to drink. And she said the saffron is to empty the clot blood.
Okay, caller. Now, this caller is saying, Dr. Sebi, if I could bring across her what she was saying, correct, of course, a little more clear. She's saying back in the day, her grandmother, of course, if she would fall and so forth, or them as children may fall, her grandmother may give her, the saffron to use. I guess you may understand where she's coming from, and it would help eliminate the maybe I heard it says that saffron help eliminate the inflammations and so forth. What's your take on that?
Well, that saffron that we use in the islands is not saffron. It is I forgot the name of it, but it's not saffron.
Right.
Now, as I said, saffron is something that is good. However, that root that we use that resembles ginger is not the correct one to use.
Oh man, I got a bunch in my backyard, Dr. Sebi. You're killing me here this morning. Yeah.
I do have another question from a viewer or listener this morning, and they asking before we run off. What is the recommended should I say substitute there is for garlic? Is there something of a substitute that one could use?
Yeah, you could. Yes, you can use shadow benny. That has a greater flavor than garlic because I'm from Trinidad, so you have to chunke your dal and stuff when you have to make your batch.
Oh man, I love me some shadow benny, man.
Yeah, shadow benny is the better herb to use.
All right, we do have another.
It grows wild. You don't even have to buy that.
Right.
Someone is asking, what about onion?
There are wild onions, but some people are allergic. I would prefer to use the what we call chive, the green part of the onion.
All right.
When the onion grows, it has
that looks like chives, yeah.
Yes.
Gary, we have a caller. Let's take a caller, final caller this morning. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, and how are you?
All right. Could you quickly?
Yes, I heard about the garlic, and garlic is very, very good for pressure. Because my niece pressure is going for a little while. I say, you just get a hot cup of garlic tea, drink the hot cup of tea, and you eat the garlic after. If I have a little lightness in my pressure, I just eat 2 garlics, and it's all gone. I listen to health news, and they say garlic is the best to help bring your pressure down. It's something very good for pressure.
All right, caller. Thank you. Well, Dr. Sebi,
I understand clearly. Like I said, it will clear the plaque from your arteries. However, it does not stop eating away at the epithelial lining of your artery or your veins.
All right.
So it could cause more damage than good.
All right.
As long as you're not using it, constantly, which I would not recommend. The best thing for pressure is to change the diet immediately.
All right.
Your pressure would not be high if your body is alcohol.
Yes. Well said there. You're always looking for a quick fix, aren't we?
Gary, I have a question from, the questions are coming so quickly. I'm trying to filter some of them out because it's a bit repetitive. But I have one gentleman on WhatsApp who's sending a message. Hope it doesn't be a little bit too out of the way. He said, give us somebody the best herb for sexual enhancement stability.
Sea moss. I'm sure that the Mayhan picker and sea moss, you definitely will help with the prostate.
So the Mayhan picker does pick you for a reason then?
Yes. And you use the whole plant, the flower, the stem, the leaf, and the roots.
Yeah. Use everything.
All right.
She just got interrupted there, but she'll end that call and come right back with us. All right. So we're talking to world-renowned. Oh, by the way, this is just part 1. All right.
We will have another segment. There's so much to talk about.
Like she warned me yesterday. She said, Gary, that's not enough time. And you're absolutely right, Ms. Dr. Sebi. Anything in closing, Ms. Dr. Sebi, you would like to leave with us?
To stay healthy, keep your body clean, stay away from dead things. Again, I would repeat, do not use your body as a coffin. I know they said that protein is good for you. With all the protein that's running around, how come everybody is so sick? We need to strengthen the immune system because there's a reason why we have an immune system. You can strengthen that again by using sea moss and your local plants. Don't forget Zebra Peak. Don't forget about that to flush the system out.
Nice.
All right.
Nice. Zebra Peak. Oh, that bitter, man. That too bitter.
Yeah, bitter is always better.
I like the way she put that. Dr. Sebi, let me say thank you once again. Interesting conversation. I certainly absorbed a whole lot this morning, also learned a whole lot in terms of what you said. Things I always thought was, the garlic and the turmeric and stuff like that. You say, what we're using in Grenada is not really the authentic thing. And I'd love to have that. I understand that now. The use of garlic, I always thought that little garlic is good to help with depression and so forth. And now you're saying, yes, it's not bad, but maybe it's not always that good, which I have understand. So thank you once again for sharing the info. We have to bring you back and talk on other subjects that you could information that you could share. Certainly appreciated you being here this morning a whole lot.
Sure, thank you for having me.
Looking forward to seeing you back here in Grenada, Miss Dr. Sebi.
Yes, me too.
All right.
Have a blessed day, and thank you for being with us.
All right, man.
Thank you
a whole lot.
Me.
Hey, folks, that was Dr. Sebi this morning here, and really fruitful information that was shared, and we appreciate a whole lot her taking the time out to be with us this morning. And I'm sure the viewers and listeners, they themselves may have learned a whole lot, Gary. Gary, interesting conversation.
Yeah, but you see, a lot of people now start to get all defensive now once the garlic is mentioned. Hey, don't get tired. We Grenadians, when you tell them something that they have grown so used to by way of tradition, you can't change your minds.
I know. Anyway, let's say goodbye to Dr. Sebi. Have yourself a lovely, lovely day. Let's remember to move on here. It's K105 and Hot 98 is Good Morning Grenada, and it's G Squared. We should be having a second interview. Haven't seen the parties joining us as yet. When they do, we will accommodate them. Hey, Gary, let's get into the Celebrations Club this morning. Of course, I don't think I have sent you the list, Gary. I'm trying to lay my hands on it in the meantime.
How dare you?
Yeah,
a doctor and a lawyer are both in love with the same woman named Ashley. The lawyer had to go on a business trip that would last a week. Now, before he left, he gave Ashley 7 apples. Why? That was the riddle we throw at you.
I think I noticing on my WhatsApp, Gary, I'm seeing a couple of folks have thrown out some answers, and suddenly hope to. I'm in the process of sending you that list, Gary, for birthday celebrants. So that's why you see me look a little bit distracted on TV. So that's been taken care of. Now I've seen popping up my WhatsApp list before we popping to the celebrations list this morning, and I'm seeing lots of individuals, Gary, seem to have. Would you say they Googled the answer, boy? Would you say that?
Yeah, that's what it does do, you know. Yeah, cheating all the time.
Yeah. So, well, I am seeing 1, 2. How many folks has sent in the answer this morning? 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 5 individuals have sent in the answer this morning. So I would say, folks, they took some time to do some research and actually got the answer correct. And it's actually an apple a day keeps the doctor away. You understand? That's the answer. So they're correct. And how did you come up with that anyway? Or was it something that you grab onto?
Man, actually, funny enough, my wife shared that riddle with me last night. I was like, all right, let's get that one out there.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So the lawyer actually gave the of course the female 7 apples. So 1 for every day that he's away, and that was to keep the doctor away. Well,
what was the answer?
An apple a day keep the doctor away. So
there you go.
There you go. So once you keep the doctor, because the lawyer per se wants to keep the doctor away, so he gave her 5 apples
a day.
Give her an apple a day. 7 apples. Smart, he gave her 7 apples, so which means that
for 7 days.
For 7 days, 1 apple a day.
While he's gone for 7 days.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. All right. So congratulations to all those of you who have, of course, sent the answer in. And lots of them actually chime in on that particular, of course, riddle this morning. Yeah.
I bet.
Anyway.
I bet. Let's jump inside of the celebration club this morning who are celebrating today.
Well, let me see who I have. So much individuals are chiming in this morning also via the WhatsApp with birthday greetings, and I hope I could get them in. But let me get into the actual list this morning and see.
Ready, bro?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let me roll it. It's time for us to get into the celebrations list this morning here on the K105 and Hot 98. Good morning to those of you celebrating. Happy birthday to you. topping off my list this morning, I have for you Linnell Phobes of Canal Road. Good morning and happy birthday to you, Linnell. How you doing? Happy birthday. Greetings going out to you this morning from members of the family. Let's say good morning to Ashley Felix, aka AJ. How you doing this morning? She's actually from Upper Capitol. Good morning and happy birthday to you. Let's say good morning to Rashida Humphrey of Brudge Grove. Good morning. Greetings going out to you this morning from her mother. Happy birthday again. Let's say good morning to Mylena Williams of Monk's Horn. Good morning and happy birthday. Jerome Felix of St. Paul's. Good morning to Jerome. How are you this morning? Happy birthday. Let's say good morning to Kenneth Charles of Baltazar. How are you doing this morning? Family members and friends wishing her a happy birthday. Let's say good morning to Jeron Williams of Union International. Good morning and happy birthday. Good morning to Roy T. Jones. Hey, Gary, when last you see Roy T? Hey, Roy T, good morning. How you doing, bro? Long time. Happy birthday to you, man. All the best.
That was his full name.
Yeah, huh? You never knew that was his full name?
I didn't even know that was his full name.
All you knew is Roy T, right?
Roy T. Yeah, all I know is Roy.
Good morning to Roy T. Good morning. Let me say good morning to Dawn Smith of River Road. Good morning. Happy birthday to you, lady. Members of your family, friends wishing you a happy birthday. Lex and Isaac of Grand Bra. Good morning to Lex and happy birthday. Tamika Watson of Mount Morris. Good morning. Happy birthday to you. Let's say good morning to Lynn the Pursue of the Villa Road. Good morning. Is going to her this morning from her grandmother. And also we have for you Nilon. Is it Nilon Rodrigue? How are you doing this morning? Of Central Gove Estate, celebrating today. Good morning and happy birthday. Let's say good morning to Lisa Samuel of Mount Craven, St. Patrick. Good morning, happy birthday. Let's say good morning to Kyle Abraham of Moya in St. Andrew. Good morning and happy birthday. Kyle is actually 11 years old today. Good morning and happy birthday. All the best on his birthday from his mom. That's Glenda, wishing him a happy birthday today. Let's say good morning also and happy birthday going out to is it Talani Mitchell of Mount Horn. Good morning, happy birthday. And Gary, I'm gonna end this segment here on the 28th one. Angel and that's Hosford. Good morning of Mount Horn, also celebrating today. 14 years old. Good morning and happy birthday. Greetings going out to her from her mom, her dad, and all the other family members and friends. Gary's over to you for a wee bit.
Yes, indeed. Don't mind if I jump right in here. Jerry Williams. Did you say Jerry Williams? No. Jerry Williams of Mount Horn, conductor on the bus Diary. Happy birthday to you. Lester Samuel, a.k.a. Briggs of Mount Craven in St. Patrick's, attached to the construction field. Tashera Map of Mount Horn, St. Andrew, student of the Paraclete Government School, celebrating 10 years today. Jenny Ragbasing of Cloget St. John, that's coming from her special friend Albert and other relatives and friends. Teresa Phillip of Grand Anse in Georgia, attached to the Rainbow Janitorial Services, coming from her daughter Rachel and relatives and friends. Shane Will Alexander in the USA, that's coming from his son Kimari. Mother Pat Francis, father Wilbur, brothers and sisters, and grandmother Rose St. Louis. Also, happy birthday to Kasky David of Hermitage St. Patrick's. Leron David of Hermitage St. Patrick's, happy birthday to you as well. Nikishi Andrew of Guava State, that's coming from her daughter Kimora and other members, and from the Patterson family in Lamode. Shirley Bowen, aka Fire of Conference St. Andrew, coming from her husband Danny, 6 children, and sister Madonna. Jeanette Francis of Corinth, St. David, employee of the Flamboyant Hotel. Rad Bowen, that's Rad Bowen, aka Rado of Florida St. John, coming from his mother Michelle, brothers, sisters Constance Williams, and of course Carmen John. Also, happy birthday going out to Carl and Jeffrey of Riverside St. Patrick's, that's coming from mother Theodora, aka Dora, father Thomas, aka Jason, and brother Cadloof, niece and grand aunt Alutha. Alma Julian, aka Ali of Grandans Valley in St. George, and that's coming from her son Ira. daughter-in-law, that's Bernadine, Julian, grandchildren, and other relatives and friends. Before I leave you to just do the anniversaries, GT, let me just say happy birthday to my dear young sister, Cindy, and it's your birthday today, coming from your big brother. Yours truly, happy birthday and a blessed, productive day today. I wish you. Also, good friend, Carl Chetram. All right, happy birthday to you, Carl. What's going on, man? Those are some persons that I know personally say birthdays that probably would have my neck if I didn't say happy birthday.
I never knew you had a sister, Gary. Just never knew that. Yeah.
I've got a few. Well,
anyway. Let me grab the final set on the list this morning. You said anniversary, but I'm not seeing any on the list per se. But let me just grab who. I'm not sure where you capped off. So if I'm repeating any, well, you're getting a double dose of the shout out this morning.
Take from the highlighted names there, man. Continue on down.
All right. Well, let's good morning to Alyssa Campbell of Bolio. Hope I'm getting off where you stopped. Let's say good morning to Alyssa Campbell of Bolio. Good morning and happy birthday. Greetings out to him this morning from members of the family and Mr. Perlsman. Let's say good morning to Simone Kent. That's Kanak. Good morning. Who's older in the U.S. Good morning and happy birthday. Greetings going on to this morning from her mom and brothers and sisters, the entire family in the mix. And wishing her a happy birthday. Let's say good morning to Nika Williams of Guava. Good morning. Celebrating. Nika is actually 10 years old. Hey, Nika, good morning and happy birthday. Also, Rachel Santa's Claus of Hermitage St. Patrick. And Rachel, good morning. Happy birthday. Goodness going out to her this morning. Hey, Jerry Elias.
We'll have to cut that birthday list short today, boy.
Well, that's the final I'm getting into now. Just one more after this one. Let's say good morning to Jerry Elias of St. Paul's. Good morning, Jerry. Happy birthday. Greetings going out to him this morning from his wife, that's Neva. And finally, yes, and those are the others on the WhatsApp. Loads on the WhatsApp that I don't be able to get in right now. Maxine Antoine Beauregard, good morning. Happy birthday. All the best on your birthday today. Guy, we're going to stop
birthday this morning.
Yeah, man, it's over. 50.
Down that point,
it's over 50. So who didn't hear it, of course, as the morning progresses, after the lady, I'll shout out the rest of folks celebrating. Really long list this morning. Like everybody born today, boy. And this day, boy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Lots of celebrants today, man.
So what we heading at right now, Gary? We do have the tune for tune.
We have an interview lined up, but I'm not sure if that person has tapped in as yet. If not,
I have
on
seen
the
them
road to independence.
They have tapped in, so I'm not sure if you want me to accommodate them or we do have not much time left. What are you fishing? What direction you think we go at?
Let's just do on the road to independence, then we come right back and
accommodate
top it off with the
interview this morning. All right, let's do it on the road to
We're getting ready to celebrate 48 years, Grenada. It's a very auspicious moment for us here in Grenada, and we're going to take time through this series of program to highlight some of the activities leading up to Grenada's independence.
On the road to independence here on K105 and Hot 98 on Good Morning Grenada. I'm just trying to lay my hands on the actual audio clip this morning. As soon as I'm able to do that, Gary seemed to having a little bit of an issue in terms of obtaining it this morning. And let me have that taken care of. I'm in the process.
Take your time.
I am taking my time.
Good morning to all those on Facebook Live, man. Don't forget to share it up this morning. The Facebook Live is lit and active this morning. I want to thank Dr. Sebi, of course, Miss Dr. Sebi, for coming through this morning and being such eloquent and giving guest, because of course she gives her service in many cases absolutely free.
All right, so we do have that of course on the independence clip this morning. Let's play that, and when we come back we'll be able to accompany the interview. Not sure we may be able to do tune for tune this morning, Gary, but let's see how it flows.
Maybe not. Welcome to On the Road to Independence. On the Road to Independence focuses on the events leading up to Grenada's independence as we get ready to celebrate 48 years as an independent nation. Grenada was captured by the British during the 7 Years' War on 4th March 1762 by Commodore Swanton without a shot being fired. Grenada was formally ceded to Britain by the Treaty of Paris on 10th February 1763. In 1766, the island was rocked by a severe earthquake, and in 1767, a slave uprising was put down. In 1771 and again in 1775, the town of St. George, which was constructed solely of wood, was burnt to the ground, after which it was sensibly rebuilt using stone and brick. The French recaptured Grenada between the 2nd to the 4th of July 1779 during the American War of Independence, after Count d'Estaing stormed Hospital Hill. A British relief force course, was defeated in the naval battle of Grenada on 6th July 1779. However, the island was restored to Britain with the Treaty of Versailles 4 years later, on the 3rd of September 1783. In 1784, the first newspaper, the Grenada Chronicle, began publication. This has been On the Road to Independence. Join us again tomorrow for another time in history leading up to our independence as we get ready to celebrate 48 years as an independent nation.
The information, Gary. Fruitful information always. You'll learn a whole lot about the history in Grenada. And Gary, of course, sometime due the latter part of this week or early next week, we do have someone who is going to be popping in and will share a lot of information pertaining to black history as much as possible. Hope we could get that interview taken, of course, popping in pretty soon. Let me say good morning.
Important. We need to get it into our school curriculum.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Gary, I got my guest in this morning. Let's go directly over to him. We are so a bit strapped for time this morning. Let's go over and say good morning to Mr. Chris DeRiggs. How are you doing this morning, sir? How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine.
All right.
Hey, Christopher, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great.
I think the introduction of On the Road to Independence is kind of leads seamlessly into what you're about to talk about, because what you have to talk about is, of course, Grenada history as well. We'll let you get into that.
All right.
Well, actually, I was thinking the same, I was thinking the same. Just listening to your this last summary you guys just gave with the 18th century and the American War of Independence and Grenada becoming British again. And, after that, we went straight into the 1790s and Julian Fedor. So it dovetails very nicely into what you guys are saying.
Actually, the next series, which is tomorrow, touch a little bit on Julian Fedor.
All right.
Right.
What would have been appropriate for him to chip in? So, you have a play coming up, sir. Of course, the on Fedor Rebellion and so forth. I would like you to expand on it just a wee bit, encourage folks who may not know much about Fedor to come out and take a peek at that particular play. Just share some information with the listeners and viewers this morning.
Well, first of all, the entire Fedor experience is part of Grenada's long march to independence. Julian Fedor was the son of a French planter. Well, he was not a planter, but a French colonialist who came from Bordeaux in France, came to Grenada in 1749, thereabouts. On his way to Grenada, he encountered a lady called Brigitte in Martinique. They came to Grenada and had 8 children. And these 8 children became quite a high-profile social force in Grenada. Of course, Fedor became the most prominent. He got married to a woman called Marie-Rose Carvalhan. It was at a time when the struggle between France and Grenada and England was very acute for control of Grenada. The French, as has been established, settled Grenada in 1649, and Grenada was French for about 114 or so years. Before in 1763, Grenada was ceded to the British, and that's where we start with the story.
Okay.
Just after that treaty, which ended the 7 Years' War, in 1763, Fedor finds himself and his father, Pierre Fedor, and his mother, Brigitte. They found themselves in a situation where there was a conflict between the British and the French for control of Grenada. And so Fedor grew up in an environment where he felt suppressed by the British colonial force. And of course, at that time, Grenada was a slave economy. There were 28,000 slaves in Grenada, or enslaved Africans, as we choose to call them. And Fedor offered them their freedom. But it was not just freedom for them, it was freedom for him because he felt suppressed by the power of the British colonial state. And this is what led to the Fedor Rebellion in the 1790s. So that's the kind of background, the kind of environment. What we try to do is to give Grenadians a sense of this very important chapter in the history and an important chapter in Grenada's long march to independence. That's the whole context of it.
All right.
The other issues that rise, you know, in the process of telling the story.
Hey, Christopher, a lot of people felt that Fedon was just acting as a liaison to the bureaucratic structure that existed in France during that time, and not so much in earnest to free the slaves in Grenada. What's your take on that?
Well, a man is a product of his social and economic environment. The French and the British were fighting all over the world, especially in the 7 Years' War. That was a war. Some people regard the 7 Years' War as the First World War because it was taking place all over the world. So the Caribbean had its share of that war. And the war, the difference between the French and the British manifested itself also in religion. The British Protestants, the Anglican Church or the Church of England.
Right.
That was the British religion.
Right.
And the French were Catholics, Roman Catholics.
Right.
And so there was a religious dimension. The governor at the time, in the 1760s, was a man, Ulysses Fitzmaurice. He was a bit tolerant. But when Governor Home came subsequently, he insisted that for any Frenchman to hold any public position of note, he had to swear an oath against transubstantiation. And this oath against transubstantiation was a commitment to accept the British religious foundations and so on. So it was personal because he was mulatto.
Yeah.
He felt discriminated against racially. So there was that dimension of it. So it's a situation where
plus trying to please the big boys back in France.
Well, the big boys in France were in trouble. The big boys in France were, you see, the 1780s, the time of Louis XV, right?
Right.
They were on the verge of the French Revolution. The French Revolution started in 1789.
Right.
Okay? So Fedor became an agent not of the traditional French aristocracy, but an agent of change. He was an agent of the new forces who overthrew the king. So, and he was what you call a Jacobin in a sense, a radical. So he liaised with a French agent called Victor Hughes, who was around the Caribbean stirring up revolution. So it was a sense where he wanted to liberate himself from the British colonial authority. He felt he was treated as a second-class citizen, and then he had 14,000 enslaved Africans who wanted their freedom. So it was a combination of different interests.
Right. So many questions I can ask you because I'm very passionate about that that part in our history. But GT, I'll let you chime in.
Yeah, so Chris, now we're getting set for you to reproduce this in this age and time. How difficult was it for you to reproduce or bring it out in a play format? Now, how was that? Yeah.
It is challenging. It was challenging. We had to do a lot of research because doing a historical drama, it's not just a kind of boring narrative of a period in history. It's not an academic work. It's entertainment and education. As we say, edutainment. We combine the different. So we try to tell an interesting story, and this is what we have succeeded in doing. We look at the human interest factors, the colors and shades and expressions that you do not see when you read a history book. What was this man really like? Did he like flowers? Did he sing? Did he dance? So we try to paint a canvas of color, real human interest color in the story with Julian Fedor. So it was difficult, but you have to. It's a work of fiction. Let's be clear about that. It's a work of fiction based on a foundation of facts. It's educational. We are bringing the school children to see it. We are working in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, and so we believe, therefore, we'll give out enough factual information. But we took the liberty, as writers do, as dramatists do, to make it a work of fiction with interesting dimensions, which make it more gripping for our audience. So there's conflict, there's romance, there is humor. All these things, some of it, we just introduce based on our own creative imagination.
Give us the time and the venue of the play.
12th. 12th. We're looking at the middle of the 12th of February. 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 So it comes 1 week after Independence celebration. And it's a logical continuation of the Independence celebration activities.
All right.
We started the 12th, that's Saturday the 12th of February at the Trade Center. We on the 13th, and we on for 3 more weekends. And so we have the play is going to have a run.
All right.
We are running the play for 4 consecutive weekends at the center.
All right.
We'd love to have you back at some other time, maybe to give away a ticket or something and talk about it some more.
All right. We're a little bit strapped for time. We just about a minute left on the show this morning. It's a pleasure having you, Mr. Riggs. And of course, thanks for sharing information. You seem to be passionate about the play yourself. I can see it in terms of your form of expression.
Indeed. And
I can see it in your expression.
All the wonderful cast of actors. It's a great cast of actors, high-profile public figures as well as veteran actors and so on. It's a great combination of
Hey, Chris, next week we'll be having a topic on introducing Black history into the school's curriculum. We'd love to have you on that.
Well, just give me the word, Give me the word.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Thanks a whole lot. Once again, Chris Riggs, thanks for being part of the, of course, Good Morning Grenada, sharing information, and folks going out and see the play when, of course, it actually kicks in. And any final shout you want to do, Mr. Riggs, before we wrap this morning?
Well, we postponed the show twice before because of the pandemic. 3 times is a charm. We're lucky. We're doing it this time. That's all I was saying.
All right.
I love it.
Have a good morning, sir. All right. Hey,
Nice,
Gary, it's about time for us to wrap this morning. We just have about a minute to go before we...
I hate you have to rush good
I know. Sad, but it happens. Anyway, hey, folks, thanks again for being part of the show. Of course, promised you an interesting lineup this morning, and we certainly did, of course, give what we promised. So, Gary, until tomorrow morning, have yourself a good day, man. And folks,
same to you, brother.
All right. Hey, folks, that's how we wrap up Good Morning Grenada here on K105 and Hot 98. Also want to say thank you to all the viewers via GBN TV. Good morning to you, and thanks for taking the time out to, of course, stick around and enjoy what we offered this morning. The Facebook viewers, the YouTube viewers, good morning to you. Have yourself an awesome day. And join us again for another edition of Good Morning Grenada tomorrow morning, 6:25 sharp. G squared here. Have yourself a great day, folks. And weekend is set for BBC World News. It's next here on K1.